But for your category, I mean, lives are at risk, the equipment is at risk. Like the economic impact of not getting this right is huge, but the impact on people is potentially deadly. My guest today is Tony Tyrant, the traction product manager at Peerless Industrial Group. Tony has 15 years of experience working with RV and heavy duty truck OEMs. Tony, welcome to the Heavy Duty Parts Report. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jamie.
Well, I've been looking forward to our conversation. We look to the next few months, and sadly, winter's coming back to us in the north. But that makes me think of traction control and safety chains and things like that. And that's something that your company is a real expert in, and you've got great expertise. So I'm super excited to talk a little later in the show about your specific products. But before we do that, could you just kind of give us an update on what the trends are right now that you're seeing in the industry?
Sure. Basically, what we're seeing is kind of a shift from traditional tire chain and cable products. Maybe not so much the cable because those are evolving as well, but basically we're seeing a lot of new products that are focusing more on weight issues, having a lightweight product, something that's easy to install, but yet that's still durable and it's going to provide the traction and have the necessary approvals for state regulations.
Right. So what do you think is driving that trend?
Yeah, I think basically some of it's coming maybe from the consumer side of the business, just the regular passenger car traction products where people just don't want to deal with the chains and go into a chain up area and take forever and have the snow coming down on them in the cold weather. And, it's a safety issue too, right? You don't want to be on the side of the road forever. Think of changing a tire and all the unfortunate reports that you see of that, where someone gets hit or there's an accident while they're changing a tire or helping someone else. So people just want a product that's convenient, easy to install, lightweight, especially for truckers, and then something that's gonna do the job that you're hiring that product to do. You need to get over that pass. You need to maneuver around corners and slick areas, get through icy conditions. So basically fulfill all those needs while being easier to install and lightweight.
Are you finding that, like, I know when I talk to a lot of manufacturers, they're doing everything they can to remove weight, right? Make things lighter, but keep them strong. Do you think that some of those shifts in those other systems on the truck are affecting why there's a need for innovation in your area of expertise?
I believe so. When you look at fuel economy and then just looking at the overall EV industry, electric vehicles, if you've know much about Tesla, and I know we're jumping back into passenger cars here again, but weight, aerodynamics, all those things are such an issue because you're trying to get every miles per gallon or EMPG out of those vehicles as you can. So everything has to be taken into account. Even my experience in the RV industry from before, we had a lot of weight restrictions on items. Yeah, they might want to have that, say, fancy kitchen sink for their customers, didn't meet the weight requirements, or that TV or that extra appliance or whatever. So I think it's just a broad spectrum right now, spanning HD, RV, and then getting into EVs as well.
I often wonder too, there's always there's the technology side, there's the actual products, but I also have to think that just the attitudes of people towards their workplace and those kinds of demographic shifts that we're going through, that's got to play a role too, because companies, they want to meet people where they are, and especially for commercial drivers, there's such a shortage. So you got to try to keep your drivers as happy as possible. So when I hear you talk about making things more convenient, not having to be out in the weather as much, especially in a commercial truck where you might be chaining up and chaining off multiple times a week in the wintertime. That's got to play a role in it too. Just in driver satisfaction, fleets want products that work, but also that are going to help them keep their drivers a little happier if at all possible, right?
Absolutely, and it kind of feeds into the problems we're having with the supply chain in this country and globally. That if we can't keep the truckers happy, if we can't keep product moving, that's just going to exacerbate those issues. So for the concerns of safety and efficiency, and then getting back into weight and performance of the vehicle itself, all those things really tie into the need to, have more innovation in the traction segment, looking for lighter weight products and products that are just a lot more user friendly than what they have been in the past.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't have a heavy duty part number and need to look up a part? Go to parts.diesellaptops.com or download the app on Apple or Android to create your free account. Looking for high quality fuel injection for heavy duty applications? Having one supplier for fuel injection allows you to better serve customers by providing them with a complete line, which increases your sales and profitability. Learn more at ambacinternational.com/aftermarket. Okay, so we're back, and I'm excited to continue our conversation with Tony. Tony, you are here to talk about the products that your company specifically has a lot of expertise in. Could you give our audience just a brief overview of your product category?
Sure. So basically, it's everything revolving around traction, whether it be for passenger, light truck, heavy duty, OTR, which is off the road, and we provide numerous solutions, including just traditional tire chains, tire cables. We also have some alternative traction devices that we're working on and improving as well, like our Super Socks product, which is a tire sock, which I'm sure some of your listeners have seen out in the marketplace recently. And then we also offer a full lineup of accessories like tensioners and different tools to configure your chains the way you see fit on your tires.
And you're manufacturing and innovating these products as a company, so you're relying on distributors to get those products to end users. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, we have a network of distributors, especially within the HD market, that have been worked out great for us, and that we count on to get those products into the market and into the hands of those consumers.
Fantastic. Okay, so I always like to talk to people about like who their ideal customer is. I know, and this is the heavy duty parts part, so let's focus on heavy duty. If you were to describe the typical customers who get the best use out of your products, like who are they? Where are they? What's the situation with their fleets?
Typically it's pretty simple for our customer base on the HD side. It's government fleets, it's private fleets, and it's owner operators. And we have a lot of government customers that have strict requirements, and they have in mind what products that they need and what they need those products to do. And we found that with our offering, we're able to serve them very well. And then that kind of spills over into private fleets. And then, as I mentioned before, the regular owner operators.
So if you live in the north like I do, I mean I'm in northern Canada, but even if you're in the northern states of the US, you know that winter driving is just a reality. Do you also work because I would assume then with private fleets, some of them they travel a lot of different states, or they might be going coast to coast. So it's not just necessarily fleets in the north, would it be?
No, actually, it's mainly where I'd say traction HQ is, so to speak, is in the Pacific Northwest, and then some of the other Western mountain states. So think of Colorado, Montana, Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. Those are some of the states that have the strictest chain laws out there, and where they have the most treacherous terrain that they need to cross, whether it be a mountain pass or switchbacks or whatnot. That's really where the traction industry is focused.
Yeah, not all products that get manufactured for heavy duty are as critical as a product like yours. So a lot of times, I remember when I was a sales account manager, I was selling spring brakes, and we would do this analysis of like buying cheap versus buying high quality, and what the total cost of that is. But for your category, I mean, lives are at risk. The equipment is at risk. Like the economic impact of not getting this right is huge, but the impact on people is potentially deadly.
That's correct, and that's why we really pride ourselves on our quality. There are some of our competitors out there and some other products that might, be at a lower price, but we really focus on product development, innovation, and quality, and leverage our, 100 years of experience in the traction industry to deliver the best possible quality product and the product that's going to work and that people can count on. I think that's the main thing is that they can count on our products. We back our products up. We stand behind them. We have a wonderful customer service department that's there to help. and then the tools on our website as well. So all that combined, we try and offer our customers the total package.
Right. And that total package is so important because I think about like there is innovation in tires, there's innovation in rims, there's innovation in suspension. Things are dynamic in the technology side in the trucking industry. So if you go and buy kind of like try to buy a one size fits all application or you go the cheapest thing possible, what's some of the bad impact of making that choice of going cheap? Like what are some of the things you've seen happen on the road with other products?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things. It's if you have one set of chains in your truck, and then all of a sudden you have, say a cheaper product that's a smaller diameter. You could have things like snapped links or cross members that come off, and then that not only reduces your traction capabilities, but it also can cause damage to your vehicle. I know that's also important to owner operators today with inflation, gas prices. The last thing you need is a chain that comes loose and starts flapping around and starts tearing your truck up. Not only are you not going to get the traction, you're going to be sidelined, you're going to cause damage to your vehicle. There's just a lot of consequences for using a product that you can't count on.
Right, right, right. So you talked about your great customer service department. If somebody was a little unsure of the application for them and what product they should be buying, how would your company help them walk through that kind of decision tree?
Well, the best way to do it is we have our website, peerlesschain.com, and then you could go to the product section and click on traction. And from there, you can view our complete offering. You can also go into what's called our tire chain finder, which will help you select the right set of chains for your tire, and then also for the application that you need the most, whether it's cornering, going up or down hills, starting power, whatever you need. That's going to give you the best suggestion. And then our customer service department as well, they're always standing by, along with our sales reps and our distributors that have many many years of experience, and just talking through and finding out what your exact needs are. Our product offering is so diverse that generally we always have something that can fit the customer's needs.
Right. So go to peerlesschain.com. You can check that out. And then of course, if you need help from the customer service department, you can get access to it. I got one question. So I live in a community where there's a lot of logging, mining, and oil and gas work. Kind of very similar. Like I always tell people, the province of Alberta here in Canada is like the cousin to Texas. Is there a difference in how you would choose traction products if you're working in an environment where there's a lot of snow and ice versus like a lot of mud and that kind of environment where you're going to be off road?
Absolutely. Typically when you're dealing with ice specifically, what you're going to want is that starting power. So for those instances, we offer our V-bar products, which basically has, V like that on the chain links that kind of give you that edge over the ice. We also have studded chain, which also works very well, especially ours meets the Canadian CTO spec, so it's a very good chain for starting and stopping power on ice. And then when you're getting into mud, we have wide base chains and some other products that are more specific for mud. But, basically what's happening is you're trying to increase, the friction between the tire and the road. And when those lugs or treads get filled up with slush or snow or ice or mud or whatever the case might be, that's really when the tire chains come into play and, help you dig in and either start or stop or corner effectively.
Right. So that's for the ice, but what's the product then if you're in a lot like off road and a lot of mud and that kind of thing? Is it a similar?
Yeah, it's similar. I wouldn't suggest like a V-bar or studded. I just use our standard, quick grip mud service tire chains for that.
Okay.
Those have been great. A lot of people with Jeeps or different off-road vehicles would use those. I'm sure you've seen the videos of the kitted out forerunners and whatnot that use them. But on the HD side as well, we do offer products for mud service.
Okay, awesome. Well, it's been so great to talk to you and learn about the products that you bring to the market and how you guys are very different in the way that you focus on the quality side of it. I think that's been great. I really appreciate you sharing your expertise.
Absolutely, anytime. I had a great time and look forward to coming back on your show.
You've been listening to the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I'm your host, Jamie Irvin. We've been speaking with Tony Tyron, the traction product manager at Peerless Industrial Group. To learn more about Peerless Industrial Group, visit peerlesschain.com. Links will be in the show notes. Tony, thanks again for being on the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I hope to have you back.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you for watching this video. Click here to subscribe to the Heavy Duty Parts Report YouTube channel, and click here to watch another great episode.